This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, friends. In this Azure Databricks Master Program, we are going to talk about today Python logging module. This is very, very important because whether what projects you are working doesn't matter, what domain you are working doesn't matter. You are going to write some code. So what kind of code you are going to write? Based on your client logic, you are going to implement the code. But logging is same. Logging is same for all the projects. So even you can use the code that I am using in today's session, same code you can use in your project. So there is no other change, you no need to change anything else. Okay, you just have to change some parts as per your requirement. And you just have to change the storages as per your requirement. But remaining code, everything you can use exactly same how I am using. Okay, let's discuss how you are going to use this logging, but we are also going to focus on today what is the importance of this logging, why we need to collect all the logs, what all things we are going to do with the help of these logs, everything we will discuss in detail. So in today's session, we will learn why we need logs. What are the things that we can able to achieve it by collecting these logs? Logging level. So logging level, we have a 5 levels. Remember, debug, info, error, warning, error, and critical. So out of all these things, if you remember, whenever you execute your application code, you might have seen in any language you can look at, you will see some warning messages. If you get any error, that will be displayed. If you get any critical message, that is also printed. But you won't see info and debug, right? The reason for not able to see this info and debug is these will not print by default. If you want to print info and debug, you need to enable. So we will see how to enable logging module to print info and debug logs along with warning, error, and critical. Warning means, so example, some function will not be available after a few days. That particular function is deprecated, we will get some warnings. This function is not available in the upcoming versions, this is deprecated, we have seen some error, some warnings. Next, errors. So whenever something goes wrong, you will see some errors. Okay, some critical errors also you will see. If you are not able to fix that, none of your applications are going to run in that particular server, whatever. Okay, so these are the different levels of logs we will have. So we will see logging levels. Next, file creation, how we are going to create the file. So what I wanted to do ultimately is I want to write my logs to the file. Okay, so it's not as simply when I get some error, I just wanted to see the error, I need to fix it. No, I want to store, I want to collect all the logs. What is the advantage of collecting all these logs? We will discuss about those things. For example, I'm just giving, let's say if you collect the logs, what happens is you can analyze, okay, these kind of error, whether we received in last 1 year or not. If we have received in last 1 year, why it has repeated? Okay, we have already fixed it. What is the problem? Why this error, same error came again? So you can do some kind of analysis. And not only that, you can do multiple things. We'll talk about all those things. Next, basic config. You can use a basic config, but if you use basic config, there is some disadvantage. Whatever values you are providing to basic config, those are fixed, you cannot change it. That's why I'll just explain you basic config as well, but we won't use basic config mostly. Okay, so we will go with the file handler. File handler means we will write all our logs to the file. So to create the file, we need to use something called file handler. If you want to write your logs to the console, you are going to use something called stream handler. Okay, remember these two are important, and these two we are going to use mostly. File handler if you want to write data to file, stream handler if you want to write your data to the console. Console logs will not be available, okay, later. So if you write some logs to the file, those will be available always. Next, create a table to read logs from the storage. Now what I'm doing, now I'm writing all the logs to my storage. What I wanted to do, this I will not go to the storage, open the file and see the log. That and all not possible. We won't do those things in real time, right? So what we do is we will create some table called log table. That log table will point to the storage path. It will point to the blob storage path where you have written the logs. So when you just say select the star from table, it is going to give you all the logs. Understood, friends? That's how these things will work. Next, we are going to talk about logging module use case. So example, how you are going to use this logging module in real time. So what do you do? Maybe let's say you have implemented a one notebook where you have written your logging module. All the implementation we have done it. Now let's say I am like Ram is working on one module, maybe one kind of a work. Okay, one user story got, and Senthil has taken another story, Lakshman has taken another story. So something like that, I have distributed the work among all of us. Now everybody needs the logging module. So what you need to do, you no need to use same code again in your notebook. Instead of that, we have discussed something called calling the one notebook from the another notebook. Calling the one notebook from the another notebook. So that's what exactly we do. We have a logging notebook. We will call this logging module from other notebooks. Example, Ram will call from his notebook, Senthil will call from his notebook, and Lakshman will call from his notebook, right? So everybody will call the this logging module. Now what you will get is something called logger object. By using this logger object, you can able to write the logs. We will see in detail, don't worry. But why we need logs? Let's discuss about that. It is highly recommended to store complete application flow and exceptions information to a file. This process is called logging. So we understood what is logging. Logging means complete application flow and whatever exception, whatever errors, whatever critical issues, whatever warnings you are getting, all those things, if you are writing to a file, that is nothing but a logging. Okay, that is nothing but a login. This process is called a login. Now, to implement logging, Python will provide module called logging module. What module Python is providing? Logging. So I hope everybody know how to import the module. Different ways to import the module. We have discussed in detail modules, packages, and inbuilt identifiers. All those things we discussed, isn't it, friends? Right. Now, logging is done for the following purposes. So why we need logs, right? So we'll see one by one. First one is information gathering. We need to get the complete information. Okay, when some exception rise, we should get complete information. That's why we are just writing this information to the file. Second one is troubleshooting. So when you see this information, you will have some idea. Okay, this is the issue came, so I need to have a fix for this. So if you already know the fix, you can directly fix it. If you don't know, you need to search what is the resolution steps, you need to fix it finally. Next,
Malay, are you sharing your screen? I'm just a blank screen only I could see. Oh yeah. Now it's coming, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay, fine. Okay, so it is highly recommended to store complete application flow and exception information to a file. This process is called logging. To implement logging, Python provides inbuilt module called logging. Okay, logging is done for the following purposes: information gathering, troubleshooting, generating the statistics. So you want to understand, let's say file not found error, how many times came? So let's say in last 1 month, 10 times. Name error, how many times came? So this came some 20 times. So you want to apply some kind of a statistics, you can able to do that. Okay, next, auditing you are going to use. Auditing means, let's say the number of records read, number of records written. So you are going to validate your data, you are going to collect all the auditing. So what is happening, you are going to take the number of records read, number of records written, whether both are matching or not, you are going to validate all these details. You are going to write it to the audit, like you are going to write it to the your log file. Next, profiling means you are also going to, profiling means what, friends? So if you read any file, what is the data type of that particular like in a file you will have multiple columns. So what is the data type of each column? Okay, what is the length of that particular, maybe you can say varchar of 50, so it can able to allow only 50 characters. So you are going to check all the these kind of things. If you are checking on the file, that is nothing but a profiling. Okay, you will have a different profiling, system profiling and data profiling. So basically profiling means we are going to do a system profiling only here. Okay, because we no need to do the data profiling, we need to focus on the system profiling, and we need to write these logs to the that particular information also to the logs. Next, logging level. So with the logging module imported, so once you import the logging module, by default there are 5 standard levels indicating the severity of events. So what is the 5 standard levels? As I mentioned, what are those things? You have info, debug, info, warning, error, and critical. Okay, so we'll talk about those things in the next. Each has a corresponding method that can be used to log events at the level of severity. Okay, notice that the debug and info messages won't get logged. This is because by default the logging module logs the messages with a severity level of warning or above. Severity level of warning or above. You can change that by configuring the logging module to log events of all levels if you want. Let's say if you want to log all events, log events of all levels. If you want, you can able to do. How you can do? Now you see. This format which shows the level name message separated by a colon. So see, first thing is you need to tell what level of messages you want to print, in which format you want to print. So once you display those two, you can just do debug. Okay, so we have a different levels, right? As I mentioned, debug, info, warning, error, and critical. These are the 5 levels we have. Now file creation. See how to create the file creation in this particular logging, because I want to write my logs to the file. So how to create this particular file? First, let's see that. So from datetime, so because you need to understand each and every line of code in detail, please let me know if you're not able to understand any of these line. Okay. From datetime, import datetime. I hope everybody know this is the datetime is the module. So in that datetime module, we have a function called datetime. What it will do, we will discuss, but you know how to import. Next, import pytz. So this is the another module that I am importing. Why I am importing, I will discuss. Now you see, by using this function, okay, datetime on this, if you call another function called now, so it will give you the time, UTC time, but I don't want UTC time, I want IST. Then you need to use another module called pytz dot time zone. In which time zone you want, you just tell Asia / Kolkata. If you tell like this, it will identify, okay, user expecting IST time. It will current UST time. Now means current IST time, sorry, current IST time it will generate, because you are providing Asia / Kolkata. Now when it is giving year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds, in which format you want to get the output. So year without any space, month without space, date underscore, hour, minute, second. Year means 2020, month means 12, date means 16. Okay, so you'll have 2020 without space anything. It is kind of a number. Okay, 2020, 12, 16 will be combined. Now underscore, you will have current time if it is at 12 o'clock. Okay, what is time now? So in IST, current time is 12:25. So it will be 12:25. Seconds is, let's say, some 30 seconds. Okay, 12:25, 0:05 or 30, whatever seconds. It will give in that particular format. Now you understood how I got the current underscore date. I got the current underscore date. Now directory equal to /tmp. Under this directory, I want to create the log file. Okay, that's why I'm taking directory is this. Now I'm just generating the log file name. How I am generating log file name? Cloud Pandit plus, for this Cloud Pandit, I am appending this date. Cloud Pandit plus this date. Then it will come Cloud Pandit 2020 12/16 underscore 12/26/30 dot log. The extension I have given as dot log. This is my file. This is log file. This is directory. To get final path, I have combined directory plus log file. I'm getting the final path. You understood now? Everybody understood this, friends?
Yes, Malaya. Malaya, one question. From datetime is a native library, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, friends? Please let me know if you have any questions. Senthil, clear? Senthil clear? I don't know.
We'll not have debug and info logs, and after the logs, we will have the full other 3 logs. We can log it in a log file.
Yes, yes. So first, let's focus on file creation. See, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just print the final path, I will get something like this: /cmp/cloud pandit 2020 12/16 12/26/30.log. This is how my final path will be. Okay, you understood this, right? This is the first step that you need to understand. Now let's move on. Basic config. So see, by using this basic config also, you are going to write data. You are going to write logs to your log file. Okay, so whatever handlers I have, those handlers I'm removing. You know, logging.root.handler of colon. This is the slice operator. In slice operator, if I'm not giving starting and ending index, means it is going to get all the handlers. So one by one handler will be assigned to this variable. This variable I'm passing here, where I'm passing logging.root.remove handler. So it is going to remove all the handlers which you should not have before you use the basic config. That's why I'm just removing all these things. Now import logging. From this logging module, I'm calling the function called basic config, logging.basic config. In this basic config function, first argument is, all these are a keyword argument. We know what is keyword argument, right? File name equal to final path, whatever path, final path we have created, right? That particular final path we are passing. Level. So what level you are setting? Warning. Even if you're not setting, it is warning only. But if you are setting warning, there is no change. But if you set it to info, then it will print info warning, error, critical. Debug will not come. If you are giving the minimum level, that is a debug, then it will print debug, info, warning, error, critical, everything. Okay. Now when it is printing the message, let's say this is a message, logging.warning is warn message. But this message I want to write it into a file. In which format? That format is, first it should have a date, okay, date time, colon, level. Level means whether it's a warning message, error message, what kind of message. Next, exact message is warn message. So message is, this is the whatever you type it here, that will go here. Now this time, in which format you want? Day, month, okay, day, month, year. So I means it's a AM and PM. Okay, so I means 12 hours format. So this will be IMS. P means PM or AM. Okay, you understood now? Everybody understood this, friends?
Malaya, I understood that, but what I'm not clear is the handler. I mean, like our handler.
Okay, so handler is basically what happens is, when you're using basic config. Okay, when you're using basic config, if you have handlers, so you can create log file and you can write data by using handlers also. We are going to discuss those things. You should not have any handler before you use basic config. So that's why I'm just removing all the handlers which I have to my root logger. Okay, so do not worry about this. That's what I mentioned. Basic config we will not use much. Okay, that's why you do not worry. We are going to use the handler only. But if you want to use basic config, you should not have a handler. So
Like
that's why
my question is, what exactly the handler does?
What handler does?
Yeah.
So handler will allow you to write data or logs to file if you use file handler. If you are using stream handler, data will be written to the console. So those handlers I discussed already, but we will discuss in detail in upcoming slides.
Sure. Thank you, Malay.
Yeah. File handler. See, this is the file handler. So file handler code. So don't confuse. It is very, very easy. You try to understand. Okay. So this is the exact code that we use in real time mostly. Okay. Logging module I imported. First line is clear. This is a logger, not a logging. Direct logging module. I'm using logging module, but I'm just getting something called logger object. Why you need to get logger object is, here you can specify, let's say when ROM is calling this, he can tell that I'm working on input. So maybe when Sentinel is working, he can say output, I'm working on output. So he can tell, so from which file this particular logs are writing. So that particular logger name you can give. Okay, so demo logger, this is the name I am giving. That name will come if you use this logger. Okay, so logger. So when I'm writing the data by using logger, so what kind of level I need to follow? Logger.set level is logging.info. Info means debug will come or not. Remember, see, this is the hierarchy. First debug, info, warn, error, critical. If you use info means info, warn, error, critical you will get, but the debug you won't get. Okay, so that's why I'm just using info, but if you use debug you'll get everything. Now I'm using info. So till here you are not doing anything, just you are getting something logger object. Now I'm not writing data by using logging directly, but I'm using logger. Okay, this is the first step is clear. This is just to set from which file you are writing the log. Logger is clear.
Yes,
yeah, see, from now don't confuse, very easy. By using this fourth line, I'm just passing my file path. Logging, this is the module dot file handler I'm calling. So file handler will take the file to which file you want to write the data. Mode is append or overwrite. Mode is append. This is the file handler. Now this file handler you are using to write data into this file, right? Clear? But now in which format you want to write data in this particular file? That's why I'm just using this formatter. Okay, first time, next name. Name means demo logger. Name means demo logger. Level name means whether it is a warning, error, critical, what kind of level. Message means exact messages which you're typing here. Okay, this is the format. First time, next name of the logger, level name, message. So in this format I want to print. So this formatter I need to add it to the, I need to set it to the file handler. See, I'm taking file handler dot set formatter. What kind of format you want? I just define the formatter here. This formatter I'm passing here. So I have a file handler. Till here clear? This is the one set. So you are just created the file in which format you want to write data into this file. You set it here formats. You set the format. Clear? Clear, Ram? Okay. Now you see this file handler. So you define to write the logs, but how you are going to write the logs? By using logger. So that's why this file handler I need to add it to the logger. Logger dot add handler. What kind of handler? It is a file handler. So this particular file handler, if you add it here, so you'll have a logger. By using this logger, I'm writing now debug message, info, warn, error, critical based on your exception, what kind of information you are passing, what kind of message you are passing. You can just pass. If you want to pass debug, info, warn, error, critical, you can pass anything. But can you tell me debug message it will print or not? It will not print. The reason is set level is info. Clear?
Yeah, after info, from info, it will print info, warning, error, and critical.
Exactly, right. By default, even I'm not setting this, then it will consider warn, error, critical, but it won't consider info and debug. Okay. So if you need one more time explanation, I will give, but this is the ultimate thing that you need to understand.
So for, I mean, like, let me explain, I mean, like, go through that, Malaya, so that you can correct me. Okay.
Yeah.
For logging, for to put to have a logger message, we need a handler, and for that we'll use the file handler, and for that we need, and also to have a logging, we need to have a logging module. We will import that module, and then we give a name for that logger, which is called a demo logger, or whatever we can give it. And to log that file, we should mention a file path, and in the file path we will say, like, for that we'll say like file handle logging dot file handler will use that function, and for that file we'll mention the formatter, and in that formatter we'll mention, like, what is the formatter type, time, the name of the logger, that is demo logger, and the level name is, we set like we have set the logging level to the info, which means it will exclude debug, and it will start from the info, warning, error, and critical messages. And we have mentioned the in the file and the formatter we have mentioned the name, the time, the name, level name, and the message what we mentioned in the logger.info, and the format, and we have set the handler formatter for the file, and afterwards we have added another function from the logger, which is called a handler, which we use the logger.add handler. And based on that, and also we have added the messages for the logger to print our messages.
To write all these messages to the file handler. File handler will create the file which you have mentioned here. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, mostly you are right. Okay. But if you practice, you will come to know more clarity.
We have to practice this because we can use this in all the scenarios in every scripting and programming. Yeah.
Right. Okay, fine. See, same, exactly same. Stream handler means instead of log handler, you have a stream handler. So same. So by using console handler dot set formatter, same formatter you are setting for this particular CP logger, okay, Cloud Pandit logger, you are adding a add handler called console handler. This time we are adding this console handler, but remaining things are same. This time only stream handler instead of file handler. Check it this. Senthil, are you able to get it? Can you just ping? I think you have again audio issue. I'm not sure. Senthil, are you there? I think you are in mute, Senthil.
Malaya, one question here, because the stream handler is putting the logs into the writing the logs into the console, but why we are mentioning the formatter here?
Format, in which format you want to see that messages also?
Okay.
See, when you're writing this message to the file, you can maintain the format. Even when you are seeing that particular message in the console, you want to maintain the format. So if you don't want to use format, you can do that, no issue.
Okay, so there is another in the formatter is equal to logging.formatter percentile ASC time. What is that? That one,
ASC time will generate the it will generate the UST time, UCT times.
Okay.
Okay, it will generate the UCT time, UTC. Okay.
UTC.
Yeah. You understood? So it will generate the UTC time. For that, you need to use the ASC time. Now, let's see now. Create table to read logs from the storage. So let's say you have written all the logs to this particular path. So from this particular path, if you want to read the logs, you need to create a table, something like this. Create table if not exist, Cloud Pandit _ logs using text. Options are, these are the options, header equal to true. So this is the a text, even though it is a .log file, you just have to use using text. Option is path is this one, header equal to true. Refresh table, this is the table name. Select a star from table, this is the table. I'm just selecting the data from this particular table. Okay, this is how I'm going to read the logs from the storage by using table. So use case is, let's say, see, I'm going to implement all this particular logging. Okay, I have a app logger. So example, df equals spark.read.format csv option actor equal to true load. So this is the path which is not available. So it is going to throw exception saying that so file not or path not exist. Okay, some error you will get that message. I want to write it into the my logger app logger dot error of e. If you say this message will be written to the log file which I mentioned here. Okay, clear? Yeah, these are the slides we have. Let's go and do the demo. Say I'm here. Let me just attach my notebook to the cluster. So come down. You see, this is a logging module. By using logging module, you can mention debug, info. These are levels. So warn, you can use warn or warning, but warn is the deprecated method. So that's why you need to use the warning now. Just execute this. See, by default, it is printing what? Warning, error, critical. You see, right? Clear, friends? But let's try to use warn. What will happen? We'll see. Okay, so here you are not getting any problem, but in upcoming sales you will see some error. Okay, clear. On logger, warn method is deprecated, I think. Okay, see warning, error, critical. You are able to see only these three messages. Now you see this is the code I'm using to create the final path. So this is the current, see 2020 12/16, current time is 12:41:51. dot log. This is the log file. Next, import logging. Okay, logging dot set logger called demo logger. So logger dot set level is logging dot info. Okay, file handler is final path, whatever path I have here, that final path I'm passing, mode equal to A. So format is in this particular format I want to write the data. So file handler is I'm just setting here. So this particular format I'm setting to the file handler. File handler dot set format. So this is the formatter I'm just passing. Next, for this logger, okay, for this logger I'm just adding add handler. What handler I need to add? File handler. Okay, then I'm just printing all these things. But so that /temp this particular path. Okay, let's see. When we write the data, okay, when we write the data, see this time it is writing all these four. It is writing info, warning, error, critical, all these logs it is writing. Okay, so now you see what I am doing. I have all these logs. These logs it has written to which path, friends? /temp, right? In /temp I should be able to see this particular path. We'll see whether in /temp that particular path is available or not. For that you just say /temp execute. See, file is available or not. These log files will be there in a local. So I need to push this particular, I need to move this particular file from local to my blob storage. So for that, I'm just creating the partitions because every day file I want to load it into the respective folder. So let's say today file I want to load it into the 2020-12-16. That's why I'll just create this partition. See now what I'm doing. dbfs:/mnt cloud fund. This is the blob storage I have mounted. You know already, right? So I mounted. This is the storage. So this is the Cloud Pandit folder I mounted. Now into that,
can we see the data in that file? Because it has created a file, Cloud Pandit 2012-16.log. Can we open the
I will show you. Just wait. So that's what I'm saying. So we need to move this particular file into the like blob storage. Yeah. Okay. So let me move that particular file. dbfs okay /mnt cloud pandit. This is the my mount path. Under that I'm creating a log folder, subfolder. Under that partitions. Partition means, can you tell me what all folders it will create?
Per date. Yeah.
2020-12-16. These are the subfolders it will create. Under that I will have log file. What is the log file name? See, log file name also I set here, right? I said the log file name is exactly this is the log file name, right? So that particular log file name it is going to pass. So if you want more clarity, you just try to understand what all these things, what it is. Print final path, print. Yeah, tell me, Ram.
No, and maybe it's a simple question. You put like a percentile sh, right?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Shell script.
Shell script, that's it, okay.
So you know, right, magic commands, you forgot, I think.
Yeah.
If you want to write a Scala code, percentile Scala. If you want to write R, percentile R, percentile sh, percentile fs for working with the file system. All those things to discuss. Okay. See now, final path means this is the final path. File : final path means this is the final path. dbfs : mnt/cloud pandit. This is the my mount point. Under that, I'm just mentioning log partition. This is the partition and log file name. Log file name. This is the log file name. So I'm just trying to move. Before you move, come here and refresh this and check. You don't have any file. Now I'm just moving this. Let's move it. So true. Come here. Refresh this. Check. Go inside log. Go inside this. Go inside this. Go inside this. So log file came or not? Okay. Yes. I don't want to read it, but if you want to read it, you read it here. But I don't want to read from here because client or developer will not come every time. He will not check all these things. See info. So in which format you got? So you got it in a year. Sorry, this is a day.
UTC, AAC time and file name and the warning message.
Correct. So what is the UTC time now? 7:16. What is the time it has printed? 7:12. So because 4 minutes back we printed. You understood?
Yes, Malaya.
So the data, it is writing. Fine. Now, this you understood. Now I want to create a table to read this. See, create table if not exist, cloud pandit underscore logs using text. Path is I want to read all the years, all the months, all the days of the logs. That's why I'm just using star here. Okay, then execute it. This is how you're going to create the table. Once I create the table, if you want to refresh, sometimes if it is not showing the data, please refresh the table. Then you can able to.
Malaya, can you repeat the top again, please? Create table if not exist using text.
Yeah,
Star,
this is
star,
the
star.
path. From this particular path, I'm reading the data. Header equal to true.
Okay, so you're
No,
reading you're reading the files from all the folders.
Yes, all the folders, all years, all months, all the days.
Okay.
Malaya, is it going to log any error here, or if it is not exist? I mean, I couldn't understand those SQL statement.
If the table is not available, then only this table will be created. If the table is already available, it will not create the table again. Create table. If not
Yeah.
exist,
Oh, okay,
create
yeah. Table, yeah.
not exist.
Oh, that is the
Other
table name. Okay.
not available, don't create. That is the meaning of this.
What about using text mean?
Using text means, so if you have data, underlying data maybe there in a delta format, parquet format, CSV format, so you need to tell in which format you have data. Log. You can consider as a text. That's why I'm saying using text.
No, actually, I mean, what is this purpose of these statements? I mean, sorry, Malaya. So I'm completely not understand this one.
What is the purpose of the statement?
Yeah,
Text. What
this.
kind of data you have, you are telling to this, you are telling. So what kind of data you are trying to read by using this table? Using text means you have a text data. Even you have .log data, .log file, that will be considered as a text. Underlying data, you have a .parquet. Then you need to say using parquet. You may have a underlying data delta using delta.
Oh, from the file, this table will be created those with those information, right? Okay.
Yes, so this is the path. From this particular path, I'm reading the files.
Okay. Yeah.
Clear? So I'm just reading the logs now. So I think I already read it. So you see all the
Malaya,
logs.
because Malaya, one question. I understood that. See, we got the result, but instead of the error message, what we have set it up, can we capture the actual error?
Which actual error?
I mean, like for example, we get the HD
Yeah.
400
Suppose
error. I
exceptions,
mean, like
you mean that exceptions, right? So suppose
exceptions.
if,
Yeah.
yeah,
File not
See,
found for forbidden access.
you are not waiting until I cover. So that is the like you
Okay,
are
sorry.
sometimes going
Okay,
far away from me.
okay.
See,
oh,
what
we
I'm
are not
trying to
going for
tell
exception, yeah.
you knowledge how to use. So that's what I mentioned in the slides also. There is a use case. So if the file not found, how to write it? There is a case. I have included that also. Just wait, okay? Fine. So this is the table I have created from this particular path I'm reading. If you are not able to see some messages, refresh the table, then you can select it. You will be able to see the 4 log messages which we have written. You will be able to see it. Okay. Next, stream handler. Stream handler, it will not. Okay, let me just clear the results. I think these are previous things. Fine. Let's execute this. See these messages. Understood? So it is giving all the messages. Info message, warn message, error. Okay. Next we have a critical. One second. Execute it once again. One second. Sometimes the issue with the cluster. Let's run it now. See now it's proper. Okay. Now it is displaying this result in the console. Okay. This will not be written to any file. So stream handler. It will not write any data to any file, it will write these particular logs in this particular console itself. Here only you can able to see the logs. But Ram, you asked, right, what is the need of this format? If you don't want this format, just leave it. I'm just commenting these 2 lines. Okay, so again you just, so because every time what happens is so same code will not execute twice. So if you are going to execute twice, second time there will be a second session, but we are executing in same session. That's why I just detach and attach. Now you see info warn and error message. That's why I'm using the format. You understood why I'm using the format?
Yeah, yes, Malaya.
Okay. Now, so now you see, I'm calling the another notebook. How to call the another notebook? So percentile run. We also discussed dbutils. Dbutils dot notebook dot run. Okay. So that is the another dbutils command you can use to call the notebook. But percentile run dot cloud pandit. This is the notebook I'm calling. Okay. In this notebook, exactly same code we have. Let me just show you. Okay, see, here I'm just creating the, like, you see, final path I'm just creating here. Okay, till here, final path I created, final path. Next, get logger, file handler, setting the format, okay, adding the handler. So this is the app logger is available. When you call this notebook from this notebook, those variables will be available into this notebook, isn't it? So we discussed, if you call the another module from, let's say you have test module and run module. When you call test module from run module into run module, all the test module variables will be available. In the same way, when I call cloud pandit underscore logging, this is the notebook, this app logger, okay, this app logger will be available in this notebook. Okay, execute this. So app logger will be available. Okay, so now you see, I'm just trying to read this particular file. This is the exception. This is the exception, right? Path does not exist. This is the exception. I want to write this exception to file. So this is the line I need to keep it in a try block. Tomorrow you will see the exceptions, but try I'm just using. I need to put all my risky code in the try block and accept to receive your exception. Exception you are collecting as a message E. This E I'm writing. So app logger means this one. This will be available to this notebook. So I'm using this app logger dot error of E. E means this is the message. Now, if somebody else want to write some logger, then they have to call this notebook and they can get the app logger. By using this app logger, they can able to write their logs.
So their code should be inside the try, yeah?
Yeah, this is exception handling. Do not worry about that. So tomorrow
Okay.
you will come to know. But
Okay.
ultimately, to understand, some exception comes. I'm just taking that exception and writing into that this particular logger. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Then this is the file it has created, right? To that particular file, this message will it will write. So what it is saying? Path does not exist. Why it is printing? It should not print it. Okay, we'll
Maybe you
see
should
whether.
have mount.
No. Path does not. No. The main thing is this
Okay,
particular
the
path.
load. Okay. Temp.
That is the exception, right? So when exception comes, this should not display the message here. Okay, that's fine. Even if it is displaying message here, doesn't matter to us. But ultimately, we
Yeah, we are
need to see.
capturing the error. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, right? So this now what happened? Final path. Final path is nothing but a. See, this is the final path. Okay, this particular file should be available under.
Yeah.
If you use
And the path name may be TMP Balaya, not TEMP. On the Cloud Pandit, we are getting an exception. The file name may be TMP.
No. See, under TMP folder, we have a Cloud Pandit 2020. This is the file which is created. You can see file is there 125401. Okay, so this file, now I am moving into my cloud storage. Come here, come to your thought tab, refresh this. See, you don't have anything, but I am moving the another file into my cloud storage. Same partitions, you can see partitions is 20, 12, 16, same partition, but file name has to be enough. Okay, I'm just moving. Let's move it. Okay, file is moved. Come to thought tab. Let's refresh. It's saying true.
Go back a level up and yeah.
Oh, no. I have written into another folder. Okay, under Cloud Pandit, I have written a app logger, application logger. This is the folder. I have written into application. Go inside this. I will show you if you want. You see, I am writing my logs to the application log, not a log. You understood? Under Cloud
Yeah,
Pandit,
yeah, yeah.
application
You're mounted to different path. Yeah.
different path is. See, file came 125401. Now 93 bytes. Let's open this file and see whether same content it has written to the file or not. You have or not? Path does not exist. You have this error or not?
Exist.
From which file? Demo log. So at what time execution it is executed? This is the time.
725.
So you have all that information I want to read. I'm creating another table. Okay, I'm creating another table. You can see /mnt cloud pandit application log /** executed. Okay, this is the table. Now refresh table if you want. Otherwise, without refreshing also you can able to select. I'm not executing refresh because register we have written. We should be able to read. See, I'm able to read this message or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you directly inserted into a SQL table, right? In the SQL.
What SQL table? It's external table. Data will not be there in the store. This particular table. This.
Where this table is created, Malaya?
Creating the external table in Azure SQL data warehouse, right?
Yeah.
So we have a data in blob storage and we are able to read it by using external tables. So exactly
that I understood, but that I understood the external tables writing and all. Have you created this table already in the data warehouse?
You mean now in Databricks?
Yeah.
If it is not exist, Ram, it's getting created with those information.
Yeah.
It's
But it is
first line.
creating.
Yeah,
It is
it's
creating a
creating now.
table. It's creating a table now. So what permissions? I mean, like we can't straight away give it the table. We should have a connection to the data warehouse and all, right?
This is the connection mount point you have already. This is
okay. It's creating over there. You mean?
This is the table which point into this particular location.
Location means where file is residing, right? Where file is there.
My question here is if you want to select, you're doing the select star from that table, right? Where the table is located currently?
This table, if you want to see,
is in our Databricks or it's in blob?
In the Databricks. Okay.
Yes.
The file, okay, in the Databricks. Okay.
But what I'm thinking is it is saving into the SQL data warehouse, but it's not. Yeah, it's in the Databricks itself.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
So do we need to have any permission, Malaya? So automatically we no need to give any permission in the Databricks for this creating this table and all.
You should have a permission to this particular path.
This is for blob storage, right? This is blob storage. See, my understanding is this Cloud Pandit.
Okay. See, creating table, what is there? You see, ultimately what you are doing by using this table.
No, see, I got you, Malaya. See, the thing is where the file is there. File is there in the application log folder, right? So whatever informations are available inside that folder, inside that file, that will be stored into this table, right? Cloud Pandit, app logging table.
Again, I'm explaining same thing. See, again and again, I'm telling. So data will not be there in this particular table. It's an external table. It will just reference to this particular path.
Path in the sense, all files are there, right?
Files are there. So you remember Azure SQL data warehouse, we have created the external table. So now you mean to say if the data is available in this table, if I delete this particular table, will my data delete? No, because data is available in the storage.
Correct. Yeah.
Using this table to read that particular data. Schema you will create here, this schema will point to particular path.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. This table is in Databricks. Yeah.
It acts as a
Okay.
medium to read the
Yeah.
data.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, just to read the data from those files and displaying in the format. Okay.
So there is a one more concept, but that is not required for you. Let me just explain you. Okay. So this you understand. So this is the final path again. Okay, I'm just creating some final path. So this time I'm using basic config. Okay, basic config I'm using to write all these logs into file. Okay, write it. Now you know, right? I'm not setting any level. By default, it will consider only warning to everything. Partitions. I'm just creating partitions, and this particular final path I'm moving into this particular path.
Log.
But this into logs I'm moving. Okay. Let's go and see whether inside log, whether we have one more file or not.
It's taking separately year, month, and date because of slash
One
dash. Yeah.
In real time, this is what we use actually. Yeah.
Okay.
10230. Okay. So this is how you'll have. Clear. Now, if you want to see this message, you see, you'll have warning.
Warning, error, and critical. Yeah.
Okay. You clear. Come back. Now you see, you can just set some kind of. Again, I'm just creating a one more final path. A final path. So this time I'm using a basic config, but this time I'm saying I want to write logs from, maybe let me just write it from the debug. Let me write all logs debug, and this is the, like, I'm also saying the format, in which format I should be able to see the data, because if you look at this particular file, so there is no format, right? So I'm just setting the format, everything, file mode is A, and I'm trying to write the data. So now it should write all the debug, everything, right? So after that, you have partitions, right? So I think same partitions will work, because same partition
should be before, right? Partition should be before logging. We should have a partition, right?
If you want. So if you understood the concept, you won't ask. See, these partitions is same, right? So what I'm saying is, previously
partition
earlier,
is just a folder name. Yeah, just a folder names. Correct. Partition.
Partitioning by date. Yeah.
Put again for same
We
thing.
understand,
So
Malaya. We understand.
Yeah. Now you write it into the log. So in log, you will be able to see one more file now.
So here I can use any name, right, Malaya, instead of partition or something. It's like a variable, correct?
Yes. It's a variable.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, this is a 1-4. The data is written. Okay, but if you want to read this particular data again by using some table, how you can read it. Okay, so all these things. So why I have all these things? Because I have used info. All these are some info logs in the language. So some debug logs, everything.
Sure.
That's
Malaya,
all.
can you share these two notebooks, Malaya? Because today's session is really important.
Yeah. Just let me stop the recording.